Don't you go away. I know without your love, I'll never find my way back home. Hey singers, just trying out my little ukulele here. It has tattoos on it. My name is Natalie Smith. I'm an instructor for Music Compound, which is the greatest place in the world for musicians who want to learn all kinds of interesting stuff. And while we're waiting for everybody to assemble, playing one of my favorite little songs. Don't you go away. I know without your love, I'll never find my way back home. No, no, I'll never find my way back home. No, no, I'll never find my way back home. You know, I sing that song to my grandson on FaceTime. It's so fun, and he loves to strum along. And I hope you like to strum along too. Well, today I've got some fun tips for all kinds of singers, every age, whether you've been studying for a little while, whether you're brand new, whether you're one of my existing students. I've got some news for you. We've got 3 really easy tips to take your beautiful voice and make it even more beautiful. And for those of you who don't think you have a beautiful voice, I'm here to prove you wrong. Every voice is beautiful. You probably have an uncle or a brother or a friend down the street, and people say, he can't sing, she can't sing, she's not a singer. Well, I've got some news for you. If I were to come up behind that person with a bucket of ice water and dump it on their head, what do you think would happen? They would shriek. And that's singing. Your singing voice is high. It's different than your speaking voice. And we're going to take a look at the anatomy of your voice, some really cool pictures, how it's constructed, what part of your body system it is, and why it misbehaves. So if you've ever sung the national anthem, a hymn in church that was maybe a little bit high, even a popular song that you're giving a try, you've probably encountered that funny space in your voice where your voice kind of cracks. A really awkward, unpredictable sound may come out, and you didn't see it coming. And you know what? If you're a teenager or going to be a teenager, or even if you're older, it's going to happen. It's going to happen when you speak. It's going to happen when you sing. And I'm going to explain to you why it happens and what you can do to maybe get your head around it, get control of it. It's kind of like this. Let's say you're singing la. La, 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 la. There it is. Now, I exaggerated that a little bit because I wanted you to remember what it's like when that happens. We call it a lot of different things. Most people just call it my crackly voice, but it's a vocal break that happens when you move between the low notes when you're singing and the higher notes when you're singing. And I'll tell you why that happens. The Italians call it a passaggio. It's Italian for passage, which means a hallway. You're going down a hallway from your low speaking voice to your higher singing voice. Well, here's the problem. This is just a picture. Don't even look at the words. This is a picture of your voice box. Can you believe that? Okay, your voice box, I'm going to put this right here so you can look at it. It looks kind of busy, and it is. Your voice box starts out when you're young in grade school about 1 inch long, and by the time you're grown, it's almost 2 inches. It's part of your respiratory system, and your respiratory system starts with your nose, goes all the way down to the bottom of your lungs. And right there in the middle of it is your voice box, and your voice box has 7 muscles. It has cartilage, it has tendons. I think the only thing it doesn't have is bones. Well, here's the problem. I have a close-up for you. This is the top view of that big, messy looking voice box. Here, you'll see a blue arrow and a yellow arrow. And this is the top view. See this blue arrow right here? This is the thyroid muscle. It's a really big, long name. We call it the T muscle. T is for talking. That big, long thing right there is the muscle you use. This is backwards. I think these Facebook things are so funny. That big, long muscle is the muscle you use for talking. Right now, that muscle is being engaged while I'm talking. The thyroid arachnoid muscle, the T muscle, it gets all the work. Here's the problem. There's also a C muscle. It's that little rounded thing right over here. It's like the shape of a comma. It's on both sides. And what you need to do is think of a group project in school when the people in the group maybe don't get along that well. Your T muscle and your C muscle, they don't cooperate. Not a collaboration. That's very good. And so what happens is when your C muscle engages at the time you decide to sing, when you're going la, 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 and you're moving out of your chest voice, your middle ranges into your singing voice, that C muscle engages and the T muscle doesn't like it. And that's actually the push and pull of the whole situation, and that's why it can be difficult. Your job as a singer is to sort of get control of that, to understand what's going on in there, to visualize it, and then to use your breath support and your posture and your face and your vowels to work through it so that there's no perception of change. And ultimately, you can go la, 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 and there's no change, and you'll be so happy. It can be done. So I'm going to put this up here too, in case you want to see the group project in motion. My head's right in front of it, but you can see, there we go. It's right there. Okay, so now for the 3 tips. They're very important. They're super simple. They all make a lot of sense. The words on here may be backwards. I don't know. I like to do this in person. Tip number 1 is fill the balloon. You have lungs, which are your balloon, and I'm going to explain to you what they do. Watch this. I'm filling my lungs. I just did it. And when you fill your lungs, something interesting happens. That's vibration. That's air moving through a small passage, just like your voice box, your vocal cords, and your vocal folds. And it makes noise. I mean, given this is not a very artistic noise, but it does make noise. But when you let all the air out at once, no more noise. It's not possible. So what you need to understand is very, very basic. When your lungs are filled with air, the potential is there for all kinds of sound. When the lungs are done and the air is depleted, you're not going to have any more sound. So you've got a job in front of you. First, you have to stand up straight and put your shoulders back as much as possible to maximize the space. You got a lot of room in there for air, and you want all of it. Because when you get to the Star Spangled Banner and you're singing a phrase that's long and has no space for you to take another breath, you're not going to run out. It's fantastic. You're going to be singing all the way to the end, hitting all the important notes, and you won't run out. Your job is to learn how to be stingy. So you fill the balloon. It's already full. We're still on tip 1. You filled the balloon, and when you say la, you're not going to let it all out at once. La. Keep going with me. Can you do it? La. I'm out. I didn't do a very good job that time. I have the control. You have the control. You fill up your lungs, you give yourself maximum space, and then you're very stingy when necessary about how much air you're releasing all the way out. And your diaphragm muscle is the muscle that controls that at the base of your lungs. That's your job. Okay. I want to say that the human voice is like a new puppy. It is, which brings us to tip number 2. Here is tip number 2. Can you read it? Not really? Well, let me tell you what it is. Tip number 2 is change your face. That's control that you have over the vocal sounds that you produce. If you get a new puppy and you're showing it around the neighborhood when you're not social distancing, and you take it over to your friend's house and you show your friend the puppy, what does your friend say? Aww, AWWW maybe? That is the face, the sound that people say when they see something cute and see something adorable and something they love and something that's cuddly. They say, aww. Trouble with your puppy though, if you don't train it, it's going to chew up your brand new sneakers. It may even go to the bathroom on the floor. It's going to bark, it's going to whine, it's going to do things that drive you nuts. Got to train the puppy. Your voice, same deal. You're going to have to train it if you want to get control of it. Because I promise you, even singers with big shrieky sounds, most of them know what's required to get breath in there and to keep from injuring their voice. Maybe even the front man of Lincoln Park. That's up for debate. You can make every different kind of sound that you want to with your face and your breath. Okay, how do you change your face? Let's practice. Here, let me get my hand over here so you can sing it. We're going to sing with a very happy face on La for the count of 3. And then we're going to change it to the puppy face for the count of 3. Let me demonstrate. La, 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 la. Totally different sound. Now let's do it without changing the la. I want you to do this with me. And I want to go la, real bright, lovely E, la. Now this time we're going to take a really good breath and we're going to be really stingy on the way that we let it out. So we're going to go la. I did not do anything except change my face. It's a miracle, isn't it? So then you think, when I'm singing, I'm not going to sing these words the way that I speak them. The word land, for example, now I wrote this, and this may or may not be backwards. And if it is, I apologize, but there's not much there. So let me explain. If you write the word land, it's L-A-N-D. And I like this word because it's a great demonstration of changing your face. If you speak the word land like you were on the 5 o'clock news as a news anchor, you'd stretch it out a little bit. The A would be a proper short A, land, and the N would be spoken and the D would be articulated as well. But the word land is a great way to practice what happens when you change your face. You change your articulation. So the word land, we're going to take that L and use it as just a tiny bit almost of punctuation to get the A going. The N, we're not going to sing at all. The N is gone. No N's. The D, we're going to use just as another tiny bit of punctuation that gets you ready for the word after it. So let's say landscape. Let's do it that way. So we're going to say landscape. What I did was I had a tiny bit of L. I had all open puppy dog face A, landscape, and then the D right in front of scape. So I kind of got rid of the consonants in that word. And in the process, I enabled myself to change my face into the puppy dog face. Now, the puppy dog face obviously is not something you're going to use every single word, but the idea is to create openness inside of your mouth, in your soft palate. Right behind your teeth, hard palate, it's bone. Back behind there, don't stick your finger in your mouth like I just did. I'm all alone in my house, but right behind there is a soft patch of tissue above your tongue, and you are capable of raising that tissue, making it higher. That enables you to have much more resonant space in your mouth, and you're going to get a bigger tone. So if I close my mouth Flatten my trachea. Land. The word land. Land. It's little, it's flat. There's not much volume to it. Land. And furthermore, I'm articulating that N, that naughty, naughty N. We just try not to sing N's if we can avoid it, because it shuts down the sound. So I'm going land. Now I'm going to do it the first way. Land. Escape. It's a much different sound, and you need to practice doing that with me if you can. So an easy way to do it is to go la, 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 land. Okay, now sing land with me the right way. Land. Drop your jaw. Open your mouth. And then you'll notice there's hardly any place to put an N or a D. If your mouth is open and you're letting that resonate, land. The N and the D is an absolute afterthought. It comes at the very end. And that's the right way to do it. Now, let me tell you something. That does not come naturally. Breathing comes naturally. It's a reflective process of your respiratory system. But breathing purposefully in singing is not hard. But you got to think about it, and you've got to practice it. Most musicians will get a new piece of music. Here's a nice new piece of music. What are they going to look at? Time signature. 3/4, 4/4. They're going to look at the key signature. How many sharps and flats does it have? They're going to take a look at the dynamics and see if it's loud or if it's soft or how they want to interpret the song. The chords, the notes. There's a whole lot of things to look at a nice new piece of music. And you have to study it first before you start working on it. Singers, you got another layer. You've got to go through that music with your pencil, and you got to make check marks where you're going to breathe. It's essential. If you don't, you're going to sing somewhere over the rainbow way. Didn't even get you up high because I needed to make a check mark after rainbow. And if you're singing in a concert stage with lights and with microphones and with your friend in the audience, you're not going to remember where to sing unless before you start working on the song, you make marks, you know the logical places to take your breath, and then you practice the song without failure. You might have to adjust it. You might have to move those check marks around, but it's important to get them where they need to be and then to practice the piece so that it sounds natural. It sounds effortless. It sounds like you didn't even work on it. It's very moving and it's emotional. Oh, you practiced. You knew exactly where you were going to breathe. It's critical. Okay, you changed your face. You got an awe puppy face. You filled the balloon and you're very careful about restricting the air. Now we're coming to tip 3. My students are sick of hearing about this. See that monkey? The word visualize is probably backwards, but the music notes aren't maybe. This is tip 3. Tip 3 is visualization. And that's kind of a big long word, visualization. I think it's only 5 syllables. I just made it into 6. Okay, what is it? You got a brand new pair of sneakers and your puppy did not chew the sneakers. And you're going to put them on. You take the sneakers out of the box, you undo the laces, get that tissue paper out of there, bring up your foot, you put the sneaker on. Somebody asks you a question. You know what you do? You tie the sneakers and you don't even look. How do you do that? How did you tie those sneakers without looking? Here's my favorite. You have a ponytail. Long hair, you have a ponytail. You need to get it up. You're going for a run. It's in your face. You need to practice. You get a hairband, a ponytail holder. Brush your hair. You put it back. 2 seconds, you get that ponytail holder on and you have a ponytail. Were you looking in the mirror? Was somebody helping you? No. That's called visualization. Your brain knows exactly what's going on back there because you've seen it before. You probably practiced it. You saw it. You played with it. You know how the ponytail holder is constructed. You know how the hair needs to be pulled together. That's visualization. When you're older, you might get a necklace. You might put it on, open that clasp, Find the little hole where the chain goes in, click. How did I do that? It's called visualization. Well, back to our picture of the T muscle and the C muscle that don't get along too well. And back to the breathing and back to the puppy dog face. Now the notes get high. The notes go all over the place. You've got to think of them before you sing them. That's visualization. You're thinking of, wait, I'm going up past my middle range. La, 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 la. I'm coming to the crack. La, 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 la. How did I get over it? I visualized that crack. I visualized the T muscle and the C muscle complaining and not getting along. I filled up my balloon full of air. I lengthened the space in my mouth. I knew it was coming and I sang forward right over it. And you can do the same thing. You can sing over it. You need to know what's coming. You need to visualize it. Let me think of the best song. My favorite song to work on with visualization, with filling your balloon, and with changing your face is the national anthem. I teach this to almost all my students. And the reason we do it is because we don't have to waste time learning the melody. The melody is one that's familiar to most people. A lot of my students know the words. That's fine, but we can do it on la. But if you sing the national anthem, there's no way for you to avoid your vocal break. It's, I think, almost 2 octaves, octave and a half. There's a big spread in that song. I don't care where you start it, you're going to have to go through a vocal break. The other thing is very good training for breath control, because there's some phrases that you don't want to break up. They lose their meaning if they break up. So what we do is we take the national anthem, we start working through it, and we're going to do that right now. And we're going to practice visualizing stingy balloon breath support and face change. Just on one phrase. We're going to do one phrase in the national anthem. Let's turn on the keyboard and get it going. Okay. Let's do some more la's. Not on the happy face, on the puppy face. Better yet, let's change it so we can feel it. We're on. Turn over here. La, la, la. Everybody? La, la, la. Now we're going to do it. La, la, la. We're going to feel that difference. Now we're going to go up high. Let's go up in a G. That shouldn't be too high for everybody. Should use my ukulele. It's an even better way to get to it. There we are. La, la, la. That's the puppy face. La, la, la is the happy, tight face. We don't want that tone. We don't need that tone. We want the puppy face back. Let's go back to it. La, la, la. Now we're going to have a contest. And I want you to see if you can beat me. We're going to take a big breath. We're going to go right on that G, on that la, and we're going to hold it as long as we can. I love to do these music classes and see who can hold out. I don't want you to faint. You don't have to. Take a breath when you need to. But let's see if you can be stingy. Leave that breath in there and hold it. Okay, you ready? Breath. La. Are you with me, La? I'm done. To beat me? I know some kids who can beat me every time. That's great. You should do a message into Music Compound and let them know that you beat me. Yeah, we'll face off again eventually. Okay, let's start on an E flat. Oh, say, can you see? Now let's do that together. If you don't know the words, do it on La. You're going to go over a vocal break. Let's try and breathe strongly, openly. Keep our face with a big breath, and let's be cingy. Big breath. Here it is. Get my hands right. Ready? La, 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 la. ran out. That's enough. So I think it makes sense to go la, 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 and then take a breath right there, okay? That's the check mark we make in that song. And then we go into the next phrase. La, you want to sing it with me? La, 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 la. Now, you need to visualize, back to our tip 3. When we go, la, 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 you know that you're going to come down to the la. That's a big interval switch. I don't want you to slide la, 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 because you're going to find your break when you slide. So you need to visualize that note. And like a gymnast going over the vault, you need to land right on it. La, 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 la. How to work? Pretty good? Okay, that's a tough one. Now we're going to try a later one in the song. La, we're up high now. We're past your vocal break, but we're going to be high. And we're at the land of the free and the home of the brave. It goes up kind of high. And it's very important for tip number 2 to come in. Puppy face. If you don't, those notes will never land. And you need to know that you're landing on top of them. You're not sliding up to them, but you're coming over, visualizing so that you land right on top of those notes. La, I'm going to do it first, and then you're going to do it with me. La, 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 la. I didn't slide. La, 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 la. No, 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 no. I didn't slide. It's very hard if you're sliding up to a note to accurately assess where the pitch is going to be. You can't visualize very well when you're sliding around. When you've trained a long time, you can do all kinds of embellishments and slide all over the place. When you're practicing, when you're learning, the goal is to hit the pitch. So we're going to do it together. You ready? And here's our note. La, 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 open your jaw. How's it sound? Pretty good? And the end of the song on la, 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 la. And on that note, I want your jaw down to your toenails. I want you to open up so much space. That's the most gorgeous note, and you deserve to make it come out beautifully, round, relaxed jaw, all the breath. La, 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 move around your jaw and feel it. La, la, there's another one. La. How'd we do? I would like you, if you have time, to practice lying your way through the national anthem. Start a little higher, start a little bit lower. Find what is the best place for you, and then practice all the way through breathing in the right place. And when we meet again, we'll review. So don't forget your tips. Your tips. Fill the balloon. That's tip number 1. Okay? Tip number 2, change your face. No tight, no flat, but open. Relax your jaw for the maximum amount of sound. And tip number 3, I need you to visualize. Think of those notes ahead of time, before you sing them. Don't wait till you're there. Don't let your voice be a naughty puppy that drags you around. You need to be in charge of the puppy. You train the puppy, and you tell the puppy when it's time to sit and heel and sleep. Thanks for coming to our wonderful broadcast. I hope to see you all at Music Compound sooner rather than later. Bye.